It's not on the Instagram, but
We live.
The sun is shining, nice and bright. The birds are chirping, and I'm excited. Time to get ready for another day. No one can stop us. Oh, we gon' learn to play. Oh, every day we learn and play. We do our best, so we'll be great. You do your best, and I do mine. So let's get ready, 'cause it's about that time. Good morning, you. Good morning, how do you do? Good morning, time to be great. Good morning, good morning, your dance and play. Good morning, start today. Good morning, open your eyes. Good morning, reach for the sky. Good morning, 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 morning to you. Good morning, 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 how do you do? Good morning, 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 morning to you. Good morning, 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 how do you do? Good morning. You see me on my grind. Woo. Stars got to shine. I'm a supernova. Yeah, you see me taking over. Yeah, I'm on the move. I got a way to shine to. So let me hear you say, every day we gonna learn and play.
hey, it's your day. It's rolling out AM coming your way with Pierre Berry on the show. You see, Portia Monique is a place to coming from the D. Romeo International. Here's here too. We are the morning wake up call. What are you going to do? Come on to Atlanta or Georgia, any place you choose. What's going on, Pierre Berry? We got a we got a voter party going on yet?
A voter party for the Senate race.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm
January
running
5th.
it. Fair Fight Action. What is it? The New Georgia Project. That's a really good one. So get involved, guys. Start following those Instagram handles. Getting acquainted with who's on the ticket, what their policies are. We got John Ossoff and Morehouse graduate, Reverend Raphael Warnock. So we're excited to get them and flip this country blue. See what they do for us after that.
Well, we got to do a whole lot for ourselves. Whether they do whatever they do, we got to do what we got to do because we've made some progress and we can't forget it. So let's also look at our own position so we can move forward. You're a realtor, so encouraging our community to buy a home so that they can bid. The rates are good, wouldn't you say?
Yes, rates are amazing. Buy up the real estate here, commercial property as well. A lot of people are looking at Atlanta now. I mean, they have been looking at Atlanta, but it's really becoming a focal point of the universe after this election. So
Not the universe.
really, they over in Paris, like Georgia.
Not the universe.
Yep.
Atlanta, Georgia,
Okay.
especially if they're gonna send their kids to school here. So, bam.
For sure. Yep. And shout out to Morris Brown. They got accredited last night, reaccredited. So shout out to Morris Brown. They've been through a long, hard journey over there. I don't want to discount them. It's a great school, but they weren't accredited my whole 4 years at Spelman. So now I'm happy to see that they're back and we can send more students to the AUC.
They got some great graduates from Morris Brown. I mean, you can't ride into Atlanta and not pass by Arthur Langford Parkway, and he obviously was a Morris Brown graduate. So they've made a contribution to the city. He was a state senator at the Senate. So, you've got to remember those individuals who did attend Morris Brown and made a movement happen here in Georgia. So he's great.
It's amazing. All right, we going into reports. What we doing?
Does this mean
my watch party? I'll be trying to set it up, y'all. I don't know why it'd be so difficult in the morning to just get it done.
I don't know why you don't just call me, man. I'm streaming 3 places right now. We on
So
Twitch.
what do I do? How do I get it set up? Because all I do is watch party. You got 3.
I do this new thing is your Facebook private party. So it's a Facebook private party right here. It's rolling out right here. It's Twitch right here, and it's everybody else on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter right here. So
streaming devices, or you just using one?
Oh, I got 4 devices.
Okay.
What you use? You got phones. You got.
I want to think about the audience. The audience might want to, you should call Romeo and get him to set you up. But right now, why don't you talk to the audience? They're watching the show, and
They want to know. Don't y'all want to know?
no, we ain't gonna go into putting them
What up, Reese? What up, Janet Simmons? Tammy Berry. Tammy Berry. Good morning from Virginia.
Hey, mommy.
Oh, hey, mom.
Oh, that's mom. Oh, what's up, mom? Tammy Berry.
Yep, last name, no affiliation.
Your daughter's doing well, man. Good morning, though. Wake up this Wednesday to the Rolling Out AM morning show. We're gonna have a good conversation today and have y'all some fun today. So let's get to it today. What up, Ashley?
Bring them out. Bring them out.
Uh-oh, here she go. She got the guns out.
Reports. All right. So 2 Chainz is sorry.
No, I was just saying, is that him? He cute.
That is him as a kid, yes.
He cute.
So 2 Chainz actually is coming out with a new album. It's called So Help Me God. This is the cover. And he actually posted on his Instagram yesterday a little letter to himself, basically, giving a little bit of inspiration to his younger self by saying, I know a lot of artists have used baby pictures and kid photos to tell their story or reveal their journey, but this one's different. This is 8th grade me. This was a proof pic because, like many of us, we couldn't afford the pictures packaged. Yes, I had on 2 Chainz. I was an aspiring drug dealer and an occasional thief. When Pop went to prison, he told me if I steal stuff I need and want. If I could tell that person something today, I would tell them, don't give up. Times is hard, but they don't last forever. So help me God this Friday. Artwork by me.
So what was the inspiration for that post? He just posted it, or was it his birthday, or was it what?
It was just him saying that he's really grown up and he wanted to share with others who have those kind of drug dealer backgrounds that he's grown up and now he can reflect on his childhood. And he's at this point in his career now where he is excited about where he is.
And I like the new song Quarantine Thick with Mulatto. Quarantine Thick.
Yeah.
A lot of these girls getting quarantine thick.
Okay. I'm so confused.
You ain't heard the song portion?
That's why I'm confused. Yeah.
Him and Mulatto, who was on Rolling Out cover, they released a song last week called Quarantine Thick.
Ah, okay.
Celebrating all the girls who got thick during quarantine.
Ah. I think I seem to be going the other way.
Quarantine Slim.
That's a good thing for me.
Hey, put that on the album. Quarantine Slim. Put that on the album.
Yep.
Quarantine Slimmer. Not slim yet. Slimmer.
Slimming.
Process of.
What up, Chico Drain from Mississippi? Checking in.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right, let's bring up the next story. This is one of my faves. Another HBCU celebration. Beyonce has teamed up with Peloton, creating homecoming themed workouts to celebrate HBCU students. So I know you guys all remember Beyonce's huge Coachella, Baychella experience where she honored HBCUs and homecomings and all of that good stuff. So now she's reportedly helping to create cycling, running, strength, boot camp, yoga, and meditation classes that will air exclusively on the Peloton machines and the Peloton app. So this is like Beyonce's HBCU fall semester and she's the leader of the pack for this. So she wanted to do something really great for HBCU students because she loves homecoming. She always says that she wishes that she could have gone to an HBCU, and some of the colleges on the list, I know it's Morehouse, and it's Clark, it's Grambling. I want to say, so it's a Texas Southern University. It's a couple HBCUs on there, so it's really exciting.
Okay, so my question. So is it an app that you could use independent of the Peloton bike, or do you have to use them together?
I think you can use it independent of the Peloton bike to do everything but the cycling workouts.
Okay, because
yeah,
different.
Yeah, they have yoga, they have meditation, they have a boot camp, they have a running one. So there's different workouts. Yeah,
but it does with a membership.
So you do have to pay for it.
You don't have to pay unless you go to those colleges.
What about alumni?
I have to double check that. I will get back to you on that one. Stand by.
Portia said, "What about alumni? I ain't in class. What you talking about?" Oh man, I like that. Hold on now. I work out too.
Oh wait, it does say singer and actress Beyonce are offering 2-year gift memberships to enrolled students, faculty, and alumni of Clark Atlanta University, Morehouse College, Morehouse School of Medicine, Spelman. There's a couple other schools on here.
Grambling? Do you
Hampton, Bennett, Grambling, Hampton, Howard, Texas Southern, and Wilberforce.
We in there.
Boy, she was about to change her mind. She was like, "Hold on now, my school better be on there."
Yep.
You are.
So that's really exciting. Yeah. So Beyonce, she's always, doing it big for the culture for us. Thank you.
That's dope. I like the encouragement of fitness. I think that I think you don't see that. You don't see that. You'll see the encouragement. You'll see the encouragement of the Birkin bag or the new iced out watch or the car, but you'll never see somebody encouraging get fit. So I'm with that.
Yeah, that's true. Also in this one article, it says, Portia, the digital membership does not require a Peloton bike or other hardware. A variety of live and recorded exercise classes can be accessed on laptops, mobile devices, tablets, and smart TV. So it's pretty much available to anybody who wants to tune in and has a device in the 21st century.
I keep telling you, man, get in the gym. You ain't gotta buy it. A lot of y'all think y'all fooling some people. Y'all buy the TR, they buying the body and then going to the gym. I don't believe that. Y'all better stop.
People do what they want to do with their bodies. It's their bodies. They have to make their own decisions.
Yeah.
I'm pro-choice in every facet of the conversation.
Well, that stuff of the conversation.
and every fat transfer.
Oh. Well, you know what? I'm with you on that one, TR, but I'm saying don't buy the waist and then go to the gym and then try to sell people that you worked on the waist. Don't do that. Don't do that to women. Tell them that you bought the waist first. Yeah.
But should you buy the waist before you buy the house?
Waist? Like, get your body right?
Should you buy the waist before you buy the house?
No. If you see it as an investment.
Yeah, they see it as an investment.
In what though? That's a no.
I'm just saying, how do you correlate? Because I would say a very similar thing when you talk about tattoos. You count up a person's tattoos because I think we've got to really assess as we move forward, what are the key performance indicators on our progress? It ain't going to be the people in the White House. So if we think of home ownership as one of those things, if we think of how much in savings should we have as a community, those barometers are going to say something. So what do you think about that, Ms. Berry? What should we set as a goal for our community as it relates to backup savings? When does home ownership come? If you get your waist fixed, when should you be able to buy that house? And
I don't. It's hard because I'm not monolithic in saying when people should do what they feel like they should do with themselves. If they feel like buying a body part, if buying a handbag, if buying a car, if buying a house is the right thing for them at the time, then I'm not one to judge. Now, I will say, don't buy this if you're not financially secure to do so. But I don't really like to tell people what to do because I don't like nobody telling me what to do.
Well, that don't have anything to do with judgment, though. I mean, I think if we're all talking about progressive principles, then we're going to have to decide what the principle is. I think if the principle is a particular 10% of your income each year, then that's a principle. So we're really not talking about judgment here. So my dear reporter, millennial, we've got to get some type of register, because when we do, oh, and by the way, I did get our wealth and real estate money machine logo and everything made.
Exciting.
So that is on its way, coming your way. But we do have to have principles as it relates to that, because I'm very much about, we're not going to be able to even call up our president and say, hey, HUD needs to have a new housing program for our community to get into, if the community going to buy waste and not buy houses. And I think that, you know,
have you seen, and maybe this is just what's on my timeline versus what's on a lot of other people's timeline, but have you seen a duality between those who have body enhancements and those still being critical about their spending and those still investing in their futures and things of that nature? Like, do you think that it's either one or the other, or can it be both at the same time? And if not, why?
I don't think it's not a priority though. Like, I think, I get it. You're trying to add texture and context to it. Get that. But it's not a priority. You know, that priority is, let me get this $1,000, $2,000 to get this done to me to make me feel better. The priority is not a car, a house, a banking investment, or whatever, because as of 2020, it's literally about how I want to feel today, not in the future. It's today. So today I want to waste. I can chill out and live in this apartment or however I'm living until I get to that time. So I agree with you. I don't think I agree with you, Tiara, on the it's a personal choice thing, but it's not a priority in 2020.
So
home ownership.
I feel like home ownership in my community, and I mean, I feel like as young people, I see more young people chasing home ownership than ever before. I don't know if I can pull up the data between like 2020 and 5 years ago. Yeah, but I can prove. I'll probably pull that up and try to get the analytics on that.
Do that. We've had a couple of shows with CEOs of Black banks, and I actually had a conversation with a Black banker CEO yesterday, and the numbers are bad. That actually home ownership is down from 2008 to 2020.
I think car vehicle value is more up than the value of a vehicle is more up than a home ownership.
Yeah, but the number of people, Black people owning home ownership has gone down. So let's talk about that, because we want to make sure that's something, Ms. Berry, that we.
Yeah, I definitely want to pull those analytics. Is that something that is more framed in urban areas because of the rising cost of certain cities like Atlanta, New York, LA, or is that just across the country?
It's pretty much a national trend. I mean, you've got to, bro, come on now. You and I both know, prior to COVID, everybody had a limousine service called Uber or Lyft. I mean, everybody found a new $600, $800 bill to ride and be driven around. And that was the only way people would show up. You've got a society that says rent or subscribe, but don't own. And so that mentality is pretty driven. And so we just got to figure that out. What is economic progress for us? And so it's not a judgment, but how do you set goals as a national impact if you're not saving, if everybody doesn't have a bank account at a Black bank, if we're not at least one, if you don't have at least one credit card from a Black bank, just at least one. I mean, making sure they're matching rates, so we don't can't match rates, and that's one thing. But it's a conversation, and you have major banks that are supporting Black banks, like Comerica and U.S. Bank. So just wanted to say that, because I know you're a realtor. So anybody looking for a home, please call Ms. Berry today.
Yeah, and I'm actually, really, really excited too for young people, because everybody that I've been working with and putting in homes, whether it be rental or sales, have been priced homes, so people are making the income. And on top of that, I'm working with a lot of entrepreneurs, and all of them are 30 years and younger. So it's an exciting time for me as a realtor.
And last, before I get off this point, because we're going to have a great time with our show doing this, but I just want to say you don't get any time back. So when you don't buy, you buy late, you end up being in your 70s or 80s paying off a house and trying to eliminate some of it. So it's very difficult to pass on wealth if you never bought your home. It's very difficult to have it so that you can pass it on if there's a lot of debt on it when you get ready to leave. And, you know,
Very true.
So when you enter the market is very important. So if you enter the market in your 20s, then by 60, you can at least not have that fixed bill if you should retire. So it does play a role when and how soon. Many people are refinancing and refinancing again at 30 years, which actually creates a problem because it creates the debt is chasing you now throughout your entire life versus the opposite. When rates are down, the whole idea is to shorten it so that you can be debt free as you get older. Which was always what I want to do. So yes, it does matter when you enter the market and when you actually get your first home. But I demur, we want to make sure that as we come up with some of these things in terms of what our community needs to do economically, that we will set some rolling out benchmarks and financial goals as it relates to wealth acquisition and bring those financial people in a segment with Tierra Berry called Wealth is What? The Money Machine. So wealth and real estate. So thanks, Sierra. I really appreciate it.
Yes, very important.
Very, very dynamic. It's really important that our community grow in this area for sure.
Yes, for sure.
Tammy Berry.
Trying to jump in there. I think there's something going on with my mic. Y'all can't hear me.
What you said, Portia? I can hear you now.
It was nothing. I'm done. The conversation is over now. So I was trying to jump in there, waiting for a layup or something. That's okay, y'all. Just remember me. I'm here. Okay.
Yes, please share.
Romeo, did you stop Portia from speaking during that moment, bro?
Are you coming for me on the air?
I don't control nothing. I don't control nothing. That's all.
We're all, I think we should get more. I think you got Black Bank in Detroit. They're talking about home ownership. I think there's still some opportunity to invest in urban communities and even obscure communities that are like Gary, places that are going to at some point grow and you enter the market at the right moment. Atlanta's turned up, especially.
Yeah, it's crazy now. Stuff isn't lasting more than 3 to 5 days. It's actually crazy, but people are I actually had one of my friends who just graduated from Morehouse. He texted me yesterday like, hey, let's go find a barbershop. I want to buy a barbershop. And for him to be 22, 23 years old, ready to make that financial decision, he has partners, he has financial backing. It's exciting. I'm so excited.
Now that young people. Exciting. That is exciting.
Let's get it.
So yeah. All right, y'all, I got one more story. Thank you, Queen Beyonce.
Yes, girl.
All right, so this is actually a situation that opens up an opinion piece, I'd like to say. So G Herbo, rapper G Herbo from Chicago, Illinois, responded to his ex girlfriend, who happens to be the mother of his child / current girlfriend of Moneybagg Yo, Ari Fletcher, about his current girlfriend, who happens to be Emily B. and Fabulous's daughter, Taina Williams, holding their child. So Ari got very upset when a picture made it to Instagram of Taina holding her and G Herbo's son, Yosan is his name. And it was a lot of back and forth between G Herbo and Ari. G Herbo claims that she's bitter, she's unhappy, and that's the reason why she's commenting on Taina, and that Taina has a great relationship with Yosan. And then Ari was like, well, Yosan tells me that she doesn't like him and he doesn't like her, and I don't want nobody holding my child. So what do you guys think? Is it appropriate for the girlfriend of your ex or your child's father to be holding your child at 2-3 years old?
I'm not gonna say nothing because I'm gonna hurt somebody's feelings. Go ahead, Portia.
It's stupid. right? So, okay, you have relationships. You end up having step parents or step girlfriends and step boyfriends or whatever. If they're in the child's life, did she drop the baby? Did the baby?
No, she was just holding him. He
Did
didn't
the
look
baby
happy,
feel
but he
like
didn't
with
look
black eye?
sad either. No.
Like, do the baby have bruises on him? Do the baby, was the baby starving? Like, girl, go somewhere, leave that stuff off of social media, sit down, have a conversation with them. If the girl is not harming the baby in any type of way, shut up. Be cool. Be happy that the girl is holding the baby and the baby wasn't on the ground. Be happy that the girl is holding the baby and the baby came back and the baby wasn't hungry. Like,
Right.
sweetie, that's way too immature to be taking to social media because you mad because the girl's holding the baby. Did the baby
So-
die?
So this creating this because what you're creating, like let's have some clarity. Your status is built off of two powerful men. Let's start with that. It ain't like you had your own ground. You dated a rapper, left him, and dated another rapper. Let's start right there. Number two, what you're causing, and I've seen. I'm not putting this on women. I've seen women do this. What you're causing is a problem because he's gonna say something to you about his child. Your other rapper boyfriend is gonna feel like he gotta protect you from what the daddy said, so then he's gonna get involved. And what you're creating is a problem between two men who don't have a problem. That's what you're creating. And it's gonna turn into something else. And that's not fair. Like Portia said, she held the baby. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And somebody actually wrote on Instagram responding to Ari saying, let that hurt go. Because if your son was uncomfortable, he would be screaming, crying. And then Ari replied, he does when I call her phone to check on my son and she has him, he immediately starts crying for me. I'll go get mine because if mine crying, then mine ain't staying.
Okay. Gonna be another Chicago problem. Shout out G Herbo. He was on the cover of Rolling Out, man. That was a dope cover too. He's a good dude.
You do that cover?
He's really nice.
Me and Amir did that cover. That was no. Who else? Precise was involved in that.
Hey, Precise. Shout out to Chicago, Chi-Town.
That was fun. But I agree with Portia though. But you're causing problems. That's what you're doing.
There's a lot of issues. And then you're gonna have that girl over there with resentment towards that little boy because of you. And then she's gonna start treating them wrong. And then you really gonna have a problem. So chill out. Like, chill out, girl. Sit down somewhere.
Absolutely.
And keep that stuff off of social media.
Absolutely.
Where they parents at?
Whose parent?
The older children. Where they parents at? Where they village at? Where they inner circle at? Where are their advisors? Somebody needs to advise them.
Portia said, forget the kids. Where they mama and daddy at? Get them.
I'm like, whose parent?
No, I'm just saying. There's a lot going on.
No, for sure. Yeah, that is definitely just something that should be just kept away from social media. Like I don't like reporting about it. I feel like I mean it's something that I do, but I don't feel like I should know this private information. I don't want to know it.
That's truth with an F.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, because it's a lot of that going on. This is the third story this week where I've heard, and I'm not putting it on women. This is the third story this week where women have publicly, Portia went on social media. I think something happened with the baby, or something, not a Lil Baby, and something happened with another rapper where a female went online and said, I don't want the girl holding my baby, touching my child, this, that, and the third. And then you get people involved. I think, and I'm gonna bring this up in my report later. The problem is when you get people involved. Mm-hmm. Like Portia just said, you're creating a friction with the girl, and you're creating a friction with your boyfriend towards the father. Like you're creating a friction. Like it's gonna hit a wall at some point in time. So go ahead, Tia. I'm sorry.
All right. What else?
That was really it. That was the end of my report.
Okay. Well, we do have guests.
Yes, let's bring them in, and after that, we'll get into the Black history and all that good stuff.
Perfect.
Hey, Tammy Berry. How you doing, Tammy Berry? Good to see you, Tammy Berry.
This is
Yes,
awkward.
There's Mom.
So awkward.
Talking to Timmy.
Senator Bobby Joe, welcome to the Rolling Out AM Wake Up Call.
Well, thank you so much for having me this morning. And I'm one of those who get up early, and it's always good to hear some other people who are up early and with some energy. So I appreciate that.
Yes, very important.
Hold up, Bobby Joe. What's your early? Because my early is 4 a.m. What's your early?
Well, my good friend, my early is 3:30.
Oh.
And I get up
Early.
and listen, I'm just not up laying in the bed watching a little Netflix or something else. I'm up working out. I work out in the morning.
Period.
And I try to think about what I need to, tackle for the day. So, and listening to some music, because I'm a music guy. So, I'm up listening to some music. Now, I can't say that for my wife, who's nocturnal. So let me just tell you that right now. So she wants me in the other part downstairs. Don't be up here all loud and proud. Okay. So that's what's happening in the Champion household.
What type of coffee are you drinking this morning? I need some
Right.
of that.
Oh, man. I need to wake up. I thought I was up. I'm not up.
Listen, I believe it or not, I am not a coffee drinker.
Okay.
I don't drink
Me
coffee.
either. I'm with you, Bobby.
See what I'm saying? No coffee for me, but I do like some tea now. Let me just say
I
that
like tea.
for the record, right?
Yes.
But I know I need to drink more water. So I'm sure all you health nuts would be proud to know that I'm trying to drink water, but it doesn't always work.
What was you down there doing, Dawn? You were showing off something.
Okay, we had them on as guests. Kay's Revolutionary Catering. Those two sisters, this is the blueberry flavor of the Stay Well tonic. So I've already had my coffee. Now I'm trying to get my tonic through my system with the turmeric and the ginger and all the goodness.
I love that.
And none of this by accident. None of this is by accident.
All right.
Oh, wow.
And you woke up this morning looking like that?
Yes, Skin.
Oh, wow. Well, on that note, welcome, Bobby. Welcome, Senator Bobby Joe Champion. Welcome, welcome. Second term. Congratulations. We're so happy to have you.
Congratulations.
Yes, second term. So how do you feel on that big win?
You know what? I feel good. And I'm always excited whenever I am duly elected by the people, because to me, it's really about the people and the people that I proudly serve. I look back on the fact that before going to the Senate, I was in the House of Representatives, and I always proudly say in 2008, I was elected to the Minnesota House of Representatives at the same time Barack Obama was elected. And then I was elected to the Senate the second term of Barack Obama. So I just feel like there's that synergy. And so even when I met him and would sometimes sit down and talk to him, I would remind him of the fact that we were walking this journey together. So I'm always excited to represent the people.
Well, you're doing a great job. We're happy to have you in there, represent our state, and that's why we wanted to have you on. So let's dig right into it. The power of the Black vote that came through for the win, right? We came through big. Yes.
Absolutely. So when you think about the power of the Black vote, I was just talking to a good friend of mine, two good friends. One is Shamika Bogan, who is my legislative assistant, and she and I are really close, but also Jonae Booth, who was formerly Jonae McAfee, who now lives in Michigan. And what's interesting about it is because she and I talked about after the election, after we cast our vote November 3rd, and we had to wait such a long time to figure out who was going to be president. But in that process, we got a chance to see how Black votes really rose to the top and really put Joe Biden over the top. And so when individuals say our vote doesn't count or matter, go back and think about those rooms where they're counting those votes from Atlanta or from Detroit, right? Or Milwaukee, right? And every vote counted and every vote mattered in order to make a difference. So I'm excited about the Black vote and what we always do. So even when you went back to the Roy, I think it's Roy Jones. I always want to say Roy Jones, but his last name is something else.
Yeah, that's the fighter, isn't it?
yeah, but there's a different Roy. But when he rose to prominence in Alabama, it was the Black women who came out and voted, right, in record numbers. And as soon as I get off this phone call, I'll remember the guy's last name. But the bottom line is, Black votes count and Black votes matter. And this is a key opportunity for us to see, young and old, the importance of our vote. So I don't want to hear people say that our vote doesn't count and that it doesn't matter.
That's exactly true, because we came through this year. I'm so proud to be Black and to be able to vote. I was just so excited. Roy Moore.
I
Thank
could
you,
not thank
Roy
you so
Moore.
much. See,
Okay.
one of your great listeners or staffers are on top of it. So thank you so much.
Yeah,
It's Roy
Someone's
Moore.
in our ear, yeah.
Thank you, Ashley.
Thanks,
Yes.
Ashley.
Yeah, thanks, Ashley. What do you think was a deciding factor, Bobby, for Trump being defeated?
You know, I think that's a very good question, but it's a very complex question. I think it starts with the fact that leadership, right? You know, when you think in terms of someone leading, you want them to lead with an eye towards improving your quality of life, right?
Exactly.
And so from the very beginning, when Trump, even before he became an elected, right, he was very clear how he felt about people of color, right? In his developments, he didn't want us to even live there, even if we had the wherewithal by which to live in those developments, right? If you had a name that was too ethnic, they were very clear that they would throw your application out. Then when you think in terms of when he first came down that escalator and started talking about his candidacy, he went after people of color. I forgot one additional thing. Remember, it was Trump who started the birther conversation about Barack Obama. So you can always see a pattern where he was very clear how he felt about us and that he was not going to do anything to improve our quality of life. Now, someone is on this line and they're thinking, well, if that's true, then why do we have Ice Cube or Steve Harvey or some of the others who started gravitating that way? I think everyone has a right to their opinion, but I think sometimes people are more clouded by their own personal need as opposed to the needs of all of us. I think we've moved into this notion of individualism versus communal responsibility. And we as Black people have always been about community and extended family and us looking out for each other. If I had a chicken and you didn't, I'm gonna cut mine up and give you some, right? Because it was about you and me. Now, unfortunately, we do have people who are making lots and lots of money and they're not being responsible repositories of wealth. I think it's okay to be wealthy, but I think you should be a responsible repository of wealth.
Let me ask you this. I had people over the past couple of days try to downplay my thought process, and a lot of people was like, well, Romeo, you shouldn't be shocked, and Romeo, you should have known. And I'm like, no, I'm shocked as hell, because when you look at, and I really want to know from your opinion, when you look at the whole voting process, and I'm watching people still vote for this man, my shock value is, what are y'all voting for? Because if I got to separate policy and action, he ain't created no policies, and his actions have been off the chain. So I personally was shocked at the number of voters that still voted for him. And a lot of people was like, well, you should have known. No, not after 4 years. When you saw that, were you not discouraged, but did it put a question mark in your head as well? Like, what are people actually voting for?
You know, well, Romeo, let me say this. First of all, I had a brief opportunity to listen to you all banter back and forth and talk about some critical issues, right? And I was listening for the pace of your thinking, right? And what you all have demonstrated to me is your inability to think critically around these issues, right? But let me tell you what happens, unfortunately. We don't have a lot of people who think that critically around issues. They get bumper sticker answers. They hear something that they want to hear. They will not question what they hear. And see, to me, I can be cool with you, but I will think about what the question is, right? And I can disagree with you, but not be disagreeable. And we can exchange ideas, because that's how you increase or enlarge your thinking, right? Is because of the fact that you don't have people who are just yes men or yes women, right? And so think about this deeply, right? So you're right. On the policy side, let's just think about COVID. This is a person who's hid COVID from you, didn't tell you how real it was, deliberately misled you, then refuse to wear a mask or even come up with national policies that will protect you. And this particular person says, but I want to lead you. So even when you think about wearing a mask is really not about you. It is really about you trying to protect other people. And I always think a leader should be selfless, not selfish, selfless.
Right.
So when you think in terms of what you are seeing is that, yes, you have a number of people, unfortunately, who are not critical thinkers, and that has nothing to do with your intellectual capacity. It has everything to do with your willingness to think deeply about these issues. So from my vantage point, Donald Trump has unfortunately been a dog whistler, right? In his language, he's always talked about America first and conserving policies that have benefited other people and not necessarily all of us, right? And so those people will always support him, right?
I'm just going to jump in. He supported policies of white supremacy.
Yes,
and his
right?
base are single issue voters, period. They don't have the intellect. They do not have the capacity. And it's about power and capitalism.
Yeah.
That's why we have what we have.
But think about how but think about how what's interesting about what you said, though, because even when you think about it, he pits one group against the other, but pretends like he's for both. Let me show you. When you think in terms of the poor folks in Ohio who are working from paycheck to paycheck, who's losing industry and opportunity, when he came up with, along with the Republicans, a tax policy in order to do some tax cuts, you notice that the tax cut for that end of the spectrum was temporal, while the tax cut for those on Wall Street and corporations were permanent. So he would tell them all, I helped you. But in fact, those on the lower end of the spectrum didn't even think critically to say, but mines are temporal.
They don't know what temporal means.
Right?
They know what temporal means.
They do not.
Right? Where the folks on the other end of the spectrum says mines are permanent. Thank you so very much. I'll take that money and go on to the bank, because so much of our wealth is in the top 1%. And the majority of our debt is carried by those who are on the lower end of the spectrum. So when they have these conversations, they don't think about what the person is really saying. And therefore, we have problems, right? And then we have challenges, but they can't quite think their way out of the situation, because guess what? They're looking at race, because of the folks on the lower end of the spectrum. Think about the 1921 riots and the race riots in Oklahoma and other places. It was all about wealth. They wanted to be better than us. They didn't care about whether they were better than the other white guy down the street.
Right.
So that's where race always played a part in people's inability to think critically. So sorry for a long answer.
No, that was great. You were good.
Hey, let's talk about the states that flipped. We know there was some key leadership in those states that made it happen. Are there any other points that made Georgia and Wisconsin and Michigan flip? I mean, I was just screaming for joy. I mean, especially the neighboring state in Wisconsin. Oh no, I might have to put on a Packer jersey now.
Don't go that far.
I won't go that far.
Don't go that far. I'm a Viking fan. Now you had me until you said that. Okay, you had me until you said that. But really, when you think in terms of those other neighboring states that flipped back to Democrat, right? Fannie Lou Hamer's statement, a famous motto or statement is articulated often, but I don't think people really think about it, right? So she says, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Right. And when you think in terms of being sick and tired of being sick and tired, we as people always rise up when we can clearly see exactly what's going on. Right. And then when we are motivated enough in order to say, wait a minute, I can't sit at home, because if I sit at home, this race is about our democracy and my future and the future of my children. So if you think about the numbers, I think Biden got thus far over 75 million votes. and Trump got 70, a little like 71 million and some change, right? That's the largest voter turnout in our history.
Right.
And it even exceeded President Barack Obama's election. So we knew as Black folks that if we didn't show up, that we were going to have another 4 years of turmoil and challenge, and that we understood that the power for change is in our hands, right? And so we exercised that power, and we knew that this was a very serious time and election. And rest in peace, Representative John Lewis, who said to us, voting counts and voting matter. He dedicated his whole entire life to voting and elections. I took my sons, as you know, down to cross the Edmund Pettus Bridge. And I took Spike Moss with us so that he can also talk about what it was at the time this happened, and to give them that insight. And the important thing was the fact that our people have always stood up for things that we believe to be right. No matter if you're looking at the children's march, when all their parents were put in jail, and then it pricked the consciousness of America when they saw them being hosed with fire hoses, right? But we will stand up when it counts and when it matters. And my only hope is that we don't lose that fire, because I was concerned about us losing that fire, because so many of us don't even understand our history, and young people no longer believe our history is important, nor do we stop to appreciate other people who pay the price for us.
All right. Exactly. But Bobby, with that being said, don't you feel, I know my daughter is struggling right now about the history she's learning in 10th grade. She says, none of this is relevant to my future. And so so I'm sitting there with her reading exactly what you're saying. And this pertains nothing to her. And she's like, this is boring. I don't want to learn this. I don't want to learn about old white men that, did all these things to us. So how do we change that? How do we get our young people educated so they understand how this history turns into this Black vote and why it's so important?
Well, that's a really good point, right? Especially during a time where we're going through COVID and there's distance learning and parents are frustrated and kids are at home and you're trying to figure out all what's going on. And just in case you can't see, I'm pulling my hair out, okay? And you can tell that I don't have very much of that, right? So I think we have to find creative ways to make our history relevant. Right. And I think that you can do it even when you think in terms of who invented the stoplight, when you think in terms of who did certain things. I think we have the responsibility as family, parents, and teachers to make history come to life for them. Right. Because to me, that is important, because and here's the other thing that's important for you to understand. And just think about your own history. I know when I was growing up, my dad is from Hope, Arkansas, and my mom is from Hooks, Texas. Right? They migrated from the south to the north. I'm the 5th out of 6 kids, so I was born in Minneapolis, right? Every year we go back south. Every year, and we take this journey through the night. And I didn't understand at the time that the reason why we left that night and had our fried chicken and everything in the car was because of the fact that we couldn't stop. Right. I didn't get that until later. And my dad would often say, and we would laugh about this because all his brothers would come and their kids. And that was at the time. It wasn't just a family reunion. In the South, they call it a homecoming. Right. You go home. Right. And my dad would often say, this is where I had to walk in order to get to school. And the white kids would throw stuff out the window at us. Right. And he would say it so often that we could say it verbatim the way he was going to say it every single year. Right. But why was that important? That was important because he needed to keep history alive and for us not to forget what we had to do. And I did not appreciate it until later in my life.
Right.
But Senator, I'm on Shay's side on this one. It's okay. The disconnect, right? The disconnect is the fact that it's 2020.
Yep.
And what Shay said is right. It's our responsibility as Black people. Cool.
Yep.
But when is it a nation responsibility? The history books, it's funny that Shay said that. Like even in the history books stop at Bush. It don't go into Barack Obama era. Barely. You're talking about teachers. I love teachers. You're talking about teachers who are still teaching the standard of the 3 standards. It's always Thomas Jefferson. It's always some Indians that did something, and then it's always the month that we get, and then that's it. That's it. So when does it become a national thing to say, hey, the whole system got to change? Because
Romeo,
you're telling millennials in 2020 to accept,
Right.
and they rowdy. You telling them, they accept news.
Romeo,
not like that.
Romeo, I'm not saying accept it. I'm saying that we have to work for change, and while we're working towards that change and making sure that we're making our deposits as we are continuing to fight for change. We have to fight on two fronts. We've always had to fight on two fronts. When you think in terms of our history, we've always had to fight on two fronts. That's the only thing I'm saying. I'm not saying you rest in complacency. We've never rested in complacency or mediocrity. We've never just accepted the status quo. But as we were fighting for the change that we wanted to see, we had to make sure that we took responsibility or continued responsibility to not let it die on our watch. So think about this. As the millennials and all of us are thinking through these critical issues and fighting for them, and them saying, well, I don't want to just accept that. I love it. Absolutely.
Right.
Let's continue to fight. Because I don't think it's right, because we are always missing. And when you think about the 28 days that we get in February, we have made a conscious decision to go to celebrate our history at all times and go beyond my good and wonderful Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. What about Paul Robeson? What about Marcus Garvey? What about you? I mean, we then have to lift it up, because if we're waiting for this nation to do it, we would still be in bondage. Because remember, they didn't even want to tell you that Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation.
Right.
And in Texas, you didn't realize that until 2 years later in 1865. Even though it was signed in 1863. Right. All I'm saying is this. We should not rest on our loins and wait for the nation to do what they have not done, but we should not let them rest in believing that it's okay. It's not okay. But while we are forcing them to do what they need to do, I have to do what? Instill in my young people and the people that I'm around, and old people too, because believe it or not, just because someone's old doesn't necessarily mean it's mature or even insightful, right? Because some of them don't even know exactly what I'm telling you right now, and some of them lived it, because sometimes people rather block out the trauma as opposed to deal with it in real time.
Right.
That's what I deal with, Bobby, is people that want to block out the past. And it's like, nope, that happened. That happened.
That happened for real, right?
Right.
Like Shamika, who's listening as well as my legislative assistant, when she's really serious about something, there's two things she say. Legit, right? That's the number one she say that. She always says legit.
She does say that.
Right? And then the other thing that she says is for real, for real. I said, oh, you giving me the double for real now?
Senator Champion, Let Go, Let Flow with Dawn and Shay loves to pivot to talk about Black women. The Minnesota Senate does not have one Black woman representing this state. We know that this is the year of the Black woman. We know that Georgia flipped because of Stacey Abrams. There are many Black women in leadership positions. We had over 40 Black women in Minnesota run for office to make some changes here. What is it that Minnesota's got to do to reflect Black women? Black women are spearheading and leading change all over the country and all over the world. So what do we have?
That's a good question.
We've got to be reflective of what's going on, and Minnesota is not.
Well, Don, that's a really good question. So let me answer this way. I'm going to start this way. I'm going to start large or vast, and then I'm going to narrow down to your question. The one thing that I think is always important to understand is that in the state of Minnesota, we have a number of disparities. Those disparities are in every aspect of our lives: health, wealth, education, you name it. And the presence of Black people is not as vibrant. I want to make sure that we don't fall into the trap of pitting Black women against Black men.
Oh, agree.
Right.
I want to make sure that we are elevating both.
Yes.
And to your point, you're absolutely right. And remember this, that as I sit here right now, there's only one black male, one black African-American male that sits in the Senate, and that's me. We used to have two.
Oh, he didn't make it.
He didn't make it. The
I didn't know
others,
that either.
right? The others wanted to have someone else as opposed to African-American male.
Okay.
And I do think that we have to continue to work hard in order to make sure that black women are lifted up, because they too need to be lifted up. And we as a unit and a family need to be lifted up. So I want to make sure that as I'm fighting for black women and I'm fighting for black men, because the oldest trick and the oldest game in the book is divide and conquer. And they use very, very strategic and small ways to fracture us so that we're focused on one and not on the unit. So I do think that we need to, and specifically down to your question, there was a number of black women from Sherry Pugh to Erica to Laverne, and all of them, right? I know them all, right? And so there's a continued commitment to make sure that we give them as much information early, and that they will continue to be strategic so that we can have a black woman in the Senate. And here's the other thing I'm going to say. We as black people got to stop running against each other, right? You know, because we lose when we just fight against each other, because we don't expand our market share.
Right.
Yes.
If you go after me, let's say for an example, right? And let's say you're successful, you've not increased our numbers at all.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. And we as a community have to understand that there are other places and spaces that we need to do. And you're absolutely right, Don, that we need to make sure that black women are elevated because they're queens. And I love what Romeo was doing earlier, which is always pretty funny to me. Romeo earlier, when he was talking about whether this girl should hold the other girl's baby and how that should go. And he was very clear to say, now, I'm not putting this on women, on black women. Right? Romeo, my hat off to you, because we do want to continue to make sure that people understand as we give our answers that we dissect it in such a way that where we're not elevating or generalizing all black women, because our black women are strong. They've been the one to come through the, not just recently, but all through history.
Yes.
To lead our families when black men were away or were incarcerated or was off working, whatever it is, right? Black women have always been leading the way. So I'm perplexed when people say black women now. I can look back in my history and always understand that black women have always been strong and bold.
And we've always been here. We always were here.
So when they want to say black women are now, I start scratching this bald head I have right here, right? Because that just doesn't quite. That's right. It doesn't add up to me.
Right.
So that's why I think we got to change what we say too, right? Because in fact, then it would leave the impression that black women have been asleep at the wheel and haven't been leading, and they've always been leading. Yes. From Shirley Chisholm, I mentioned Fannie Lou Hamer. I mentioned the unknowns. Your grandmother, who was pulling up those stockings at church, right, and making sure that you're in line.
Yes,
right?
Senator. Yes, Senator.
So we got to make sure that our language is right, because then we'll allow our young people to believe that black women just showed up yesterday. They always been here.
We've always been. Drops mic. Drops mic. Drop the mic, Senator. Thank you so much, Senator Joe. Thank you. Congratulations on your win. Congratulations on being a powerful black voice in our community and in our country. We also want to say happy Veterans Day to all the veterans. That's great wellness. Special shout out to my daddy, veteran for Vietnam vet, William Sandifer. As always, thanks for joining us with Let Go, Let Flow with Don and Shay. Inhale the positive, exhale the negative, and we will see y'all next week.
I like that.
Have a blessed day.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Thank you, Senator Bob. Thank you,
Senator.
Oh, man, I like him.
Yo.
Bye, ladies.
Bye, y'all. See you next week.
I like him, man. That's what I'm talking about. That was dope, man. Shout out to everybody on Facebook checking in. Hey, Yvette Booker, Kyle Wilson, Don Vito. Yes, Don Vito. That's Portia with the new hair. Yes, Lisa Brown, Janice Simmons. Hey, Gigi Reeves, what's going on? Good morning, man. Tina Gonzalez says, thank y'all. You're more than welcome, man. You're more than welcome. I like that, man. A black senator. I've never met a black senator before. My first time meeting one.
Yeah, he was really good. He had a lot of good, cool gems to share. So
Yeah,
for the people.
Yeah. I just you know, I still think people are at a point where, 20, like even for you, Portia, I know you're younger, but it still has, but like it still has to shock you sometimes. Like it's 2020. I know it still shocks you sometimes to hear stuff that should not even be like around. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you hear about it and you're like, it's 20 racism, it's 2020.
Well, some of the stuff that surprises me that is around are Black firsts, right? So we're in 2020 and we're still experiencing Black firsts, like the first Black African-American female president of et cetera, et cetera. The first, like they said, Minnesota doesn't have any Black female senators. Like that will be a first once she gets into office. So stuff like that definitely just kind of makes me squint and scratch my head and be like, huh, that's the first? That's the first. So.
And it's 2020. You're like, well, do I got to wait till 2030 for the next one or something? Nah, I agree with you.
Right.
I really do agree with you.
Absolutely.
Because, what's up, TR?
What's up, TR?
Ooh.
Well, TR was in them comments. Yes. Hey,
I'm here for it. Because you know what I love? I love the fact that we are having conversations about inclusion amongst ourselves. And I think a lot of times it comes across that Black women feel like we don't get our flowers, but more times we just like the idea of acknowledgement and being involved, and that's how we collectively push forward. So that's why I was just so excited when she brought that up to the senator, because it's an important conversation to have. Like, how do we get more Black women in positions of power, like Kamala Harris?
I was thinking about this the other day. First of all, shout out to my new friend Tammy Berry. I saw your hey back. Here's my thing. That's my new boo. Here's my thing. I think
I'm just saying. Okay, go ahead.
Definitely my mom.
Well, hey,
that's
how are you? Hey, no got nothing to do with me. So check this out.
That's my mama.
But I think the world, I would love to see if Joe Biden and Kamala Harris put together a collective of people like Black, white, Indian, Asian, LGBTQL, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like if there was somebody that represented every belief or every color, every, you know what I'm saying? That would be a powerful thing right there alone, where everybody's voice is heard.
They're starting to build their what are they calling it? The Biden Harris, the Build Back Better coalition thing that they've already started before they get into the White House. And they have started picking a variety of people that do have a variety of backgrounds. So that's like really exciting. I like the message. I'm trying to pull up the post, but yeah, they've already started to pick people. I don't know if this will necessarily be their cabinet, but they do have advisory board members for their president-elect, I guess, not campaign, but movement that they're doing now.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. That's dope.
Mm-hmm. Like they picked an African-American woman to lead as one of the 3 members of the coronavirus task force. So, they're making conscious conscious steps forward in the community, which is really enjoyable.
I like that.
Inclusive and diverse. Wonderful. So we have our next guest here, Dr. Trim. Let's get you to start your camera. Dr. Cindy Trim. She's been with us before, y'all. Y'all remember her. So as soon as we get her, can y'all see her? Not yet.
Well, then I'll make sure we get our shout outs. Shout out, good morning to Shay says good morning. Thomas checking in. Oh, our guest is
Good
here.
morning.
Good morning, Dr.
Yes,
Good
tracksuit.
morning.
How are you doing today?
On top of the world and still rising.
I love that. Can I borrow that?
You can borrow it.
Thank you. I'm on top of the world. And
Just,
still rising.
just give me royalties.
Absolutely. I love giving credit where credit is due, and I pay royalties as well. So welcome back to the AM morning show, the Rolling Out AM wake up call. How you feeling today?
I'm always feeling great. It's always a great day to be alive. I'm excited about how events are unfolding and to be a part of a history making moment. I'm really excited.
Absolutely. So we have a vice president-elect, HBCU alum from Howard, AKA Black woman in the house. What does that say for America, Dr. Trump?
It says a lot. It says a lot. We're moving the needle. We're moving in the right direction. And America is still a sophomoric as a nation, still young.
Mhm.
And you could tell by the events that are unfolding, we're not quite mature. We're not mature like Europe or Great Britain or even some of the African nations. So we're moving the needle in the right direction. I mean, people are lifting their voice. They're making their voice heard. They're voting more than they've ever voted. And that says a lot.
So we're moving into the holiday season. What should we be optimistic about?
We should be optimistic about a lot. I mean, when you understand that each one of us has the power to define what an optimal life looks like for us, and we can consent to whatever we want to consent to, we could participate, and then we could choose not to participate. And once a person understands that they don't have to be a statistic or a part of demographics, and every single day we're defining our life and we're designing our future. Future starts with now, what we think about, what we do, how we behave, how we respond. And there's a lot that can be taken away from a person, but you cannot take away from a person their will, their right to think, their right to feel, and their right to respond. You cannot take that away from a person.
Absolutely.
So I do have a question for you. Good morning.
Good
So 2020 has been a whirlwind of a year, from things that have happened in people's personal lives, the country, the political toxicity, if you will. What advice do you have for people who are kind of still in a struggle of taking everything in? They kind of may have a more empathetic type of response to the things going on around them. So what best advice do you have for people who need to center themselves in order to best take on the world?
Well, if an adult would accept the statement that I'm about to make, it'll make a difference with how they live their life. 100% different. That the life that we're living now, we paid for it. We paid for it with time and energy. And if you don't like the conditions of, the life that we're living, we're one decision away from living a different kind of life. And it won't happen automatically, but over time, we can see our conditions changing. And it starts with our own thoughts. And I cannot live your life for you. And I cannot see life for you. And a lot of people are suffering from what I call possibility blindness. And the moment that we're able to understand that we can craft a better way future, we will craft a better way future. And we don't have to give away our personal power.
I love that, Dr. Trim. We are moving into our first holiday is, of course, Thanksgiving. But COVID is surging to unbelievable heights. They said that it's actually getting back to the levels that they were when it first came out. But in that respect, we're still here. So we should be grateful. We should express gratitude and all of that. But what does gratitude mean this year? And remembering all that we have to be thankful for, what can we look forward to for Thanksgiving, even though we can't be have the Thanksgiving dinner in the big house with all of the family. What else can we look forward to in terms of gratitude?
Yeah, I remember a quote from Charles Dickens. There's this book that he wrote. It's A Tale of Two Cities. And he says it was the best of times, it was the worst of times, it was the age of wisdom, it was the age of foolishness, it was the epoch of belief, it was the epoch of incredulity, it was the season of light, it was the season of darkness, it was the spring of hope, and it was the winter of despair. And there is a scripture that I remember my mom used to quote, and it was, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of a good report, if there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on these things. And every single day, each one of us are given an option. What do we think about? What can we find that's good in the middle of a problem? And so we have to choose to find something to be thankful for and train ourselves to do it. I mean, I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I still can speak, knowing that there are people that cannot speak, but the people that can speak, they're alive. And a positive mental attitude goes a long way. And I grew up in abject poverty. So I remember running out of everything from water. I lived in a house that leaked. People had pets, but we had rats, big rats running around in the house. And my mother used to say this, Cindy, if you don't have it right now, it doesn't mean that you're not going to get it. And it does, and it also means that you have what it takes to get you to your next. It means you don't need it right now. And I thought about that always. And that's what gets me through, those in between times and those transitional times. You're not where you were, but you're not where you want to be. And that's when most people give up. And so I say to people, you've got to nurture your own goodness, nurture that, find your happy space and spend a lot of time with me moments. Find out what makes you happy and cultivate yourself, cultivate your joy, cultivate your peace. You cannot do it for someone, but you could do it for yourself. So the big word now is self-care.
Yes. Yes.
Finding your happy place. What makes you dance? Is it walking? Is it singing? And then don't consent to anything or anyone that takes your peace and your joy away.
Wow. And it's something that you mentioned that because we're doing a Peace and Purpose virtual retreat at the beginning of December 4th through the 6th, where we are charging people with relaxing, relating, recharging, finding their happy space. So we definitely want to invite you to that.
Would love to
give a class on gratitude and preparing people for the new year that's coming up and all of these great things. Because
so amazing.
I got
I love that.
And I think that we become depressed when we compare our lives with someone else. But when you connect to your authentic self, you will find that the brilliance you've been looking for, the beauty you've been looking for, the genius you've been looking for is already on the inside of you. You have all the answers to your life. You are not a victim of circumstance. If you gave your personal power away, you could take it back.
Yes.
You could take it back. And when you feel resentful, when you feel angry, you are undermining your own good. And if you can learn how to forgive, forgiveness does a lot for people. And forgiveness opens up a spigot that allows only good to flow from you.
Yes.
Because your thoughts are electromagnetic waves, isn't it? You think on frequency.
Yeah.
So what you give out, you get back. So your life is a reflection of your inner thoughts.
Yes.
So could things be the way they are because you are the way you are? And what one thing can you change that can change everything?
Yeah.
You could change your thoughts. That's what you control.
Yeah.
I love that.
Negative thoughts about anybody or anything, you can eject that. Whatever things are true, whatever things are honest, that's your measuring rod. Even if someone said something bad about you and it hurt you, but it was a lie, You ask yourself, is this the truth? No, it's not the truth.
Mhm.
So then I can consent to participate, or I can be indifferent to it,
Mhm.
because someone has a right to think what they want. Here's how I think about myself, and how I, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he.
Is he? Yep.
You know, so you can magnetize your life for good things and successful things by just changing one thought. And if you do that every day, things for you, your family will turn around. And I practice that. And my life, I went from abject poverty to wealth, from being a nobody to being a somebody,
Mhm.
just by understanding that every single day I'm crafting my future, my destiny, one thought at a time.
Dr.
Love
Brown,
That was amazing.
yes, you dropped some gems this morning. You gave us a word. Like I said, I have chills. We definitely want to get you to Peace and Purpose, because we have an entire conference that needs to hear from you. Gratitude, practicing gratitude every day is just something that we need to
Mhm.
do.
Mhm.
And
And frequency and energy. And I love that you said things are the way they are because of the way you are.
Yes.
That really just, it hit a nerve. I love it.
It is. Look, I started my first business at 8. And I went to my mom and I said, I want to do ballet. My mother never said you can. She never used that word. She said, okay. But there was
Mhm.
absolutely no money in the house. 6 females
Mm.
and one pack to last for a whole week. One pack.
Wow.
And you know what I'm talking about.
Mm.
Among 6 females.
Mm-hmm.
That's how much poverty I lived in.
Mm.
And I wanted to go to ballet. I'm 8 years old. All of the other kids are going. And my mother said, okay. And guess what? I understood at 8 years old. If it was going to be, it was up to me. So I decided at 8 years old not to consent to poverty. I didn't consent to it anymore. At 12 years old, I was fully responsible, financially responsible for myself at 12.
Wow.
And I never resented it.
Mhm. Mhm.
So it's about what you consent to.
I
And
love the fact
never
that you
living
didn't
stop
resent it.
living disconnected to your
Yeah.
dreams. Don't consent to anything that's out here. Consent to your dreams, your desires,
Yes.
your opinion, your personal brand. You
Mhm.
consent to, that's what I consent to. I'm married. I cannot control my husband. I love him. I can't control him. He's gorgeous. He's amazing, but I still can't control him. And when I cook for him, I don't cook to make him happy. I cook to make me happy.
I know that's
When I give people gifts, if they never say thank you, I never gave you a gift to make you happy. I gave the gift to make me happy. So if you never
about
say
giving.
thank you, I'm not unhappy about it.
I'm not.
I'm working a law. Give and it shall be given to you. Yesterday, I went to the grocery store, and every day I practice doing something kind to someone, just paying it back every day.
Yeah.
So I find someone unsuspecting, maybe with children, maybe an elderly person, and I'll pay for their groceries. So I walked through the store. I saw this lady. She was trying to figure out what she was going to buy. I just reached into my pocket, gave her some money, and I said, God bless you. And I walked away.
That's
Now,
amazing.
she will never see me again. I don't even know who she is. But guess what happens? Every single day, someone sends me a bunch of flowers. Someone sends me a gift.
Wow, yeah.
Someone
It comes
drops
back.
something. Oh, yes, in Cash App.
Mhm.
So give and it shall be given you. It doesn't say the same person is going to give, but something happens. You can work spiritual laws, universal laws. You can work the laws of nature.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
try not to breathe. Try to say, okay, trees, you require my carbon monoxide, but I don't like you. So I'm not going to breathe out. I'm not going to exhale. You die. Guess what's going to happen? I'm going to die in the process. Stop killing yourself over someone that does not have capacity for you. You are too big, too smart, too intelligent They don't know what to do with you. But because a person doesn't know what to do with you, doesn't mean you don't know what to do with you. I know what to do with me.
Yes, yes, yes. So Peace and Purpose, we have the flyer up right now. We're definitely going to get you some information today about Peace and Purpose because we need you there and we need you helping all these people go into the new year right, practicing gratitude, accepting themselves, moving towards happiness. Can we pull up the flyer, please? Thanks. Here it is.
Oh, nice.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
He keeps bringing me peace, purpose along my way. He keeps bringing me peace, purpose every day. I don't know.
So Peace and Purpose, register at peaceandpurpose.co. Like I said, Dr. Trim, we will definitely get you some information today about all of the sessions that are going on, and we need to create one for you. We definitely need to.
I'm inspired.
Very inspired.
So inspired. Thank you so much.
Our audience will be inspired as well. You have so much to give. Thank you so much for coming on this morning and inspiring our audience, dropping the words, giving us something to look forward to, making sure that we're practicing gratitude, doing something kind for people every day, and knowing that it'll come back for us.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yes, absolutely. Always a pleasure. We'll be in touch soon.
Bye-bye for now.
Thanks.
Thank you
Bye for now. Thank you.
Ooh, I just got my whole life, my whole morning.
Let me tell y'all something.
Okay.
I love Dr. Trim. We definitely have to have Dr. Trim at Peace and
Yes.
I mean, she's so effortlessly
her aura was so like zen. That's the piece I'm searching for real.
I'm just saying. Girl, yes. So
and everything that she said was so true.
Peace and Purpose, y'all. December 4th through the 6th. Register at peaceandpurpose.co. We got some amazing speakers, some amazing sessions that will be taking place. I actually have on my Peace and Purpose
let us see.
bracelet set. Can y'all see that?
Oh, that is cute. Yes.
Peace and Purpose.
Yes, and those are the different stones that give off energy, right?
Yes, girl. Yes. Peace and
Let's see, what is that? Amethyst, emerald. Yes.
So excited about that. Very excited about that. What else we got going on? Did we do Black History Month?
We did not. We gotta do it.
As well as birthdays. Birthdays, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right. 2 Black History facts for the day. On today, November 11th, back in 1925, which is roughly around 95 years ago. Yes. Okay, math. Sorry. I'm excited about it.
Yes, math. Go ahead, girl.
I am not one of the hidden figures. I'll give you that in terms of that. But yes, 95 years ago, Xavier University down in Louisiana was established. An amazing HBCU. I have 2 friends that go there. So shout out to the Xavier unit.
Best friend's daughter, she attended Xavier. So shout out to them.
Is there another? Or are we going to go to birthdays? Yes. So a little sad history fact, but important nonetheless. On today's date, back in 1831, Nat Turner was executed. If you don't know who Nat Turner was, he was one of my faves because he led the revolt against slavery and kind of sparked. I don't want to just credit him, but he was definitely one of the sparking figures of the Civil War between the Union and the Confederate Army. Nat Turner is somebody who doesn't get a lot of praise, I feel like, in history because of his revolutionary tactics. Kind of goes against what America was about at the time. But he's an important figure for our children and kids to at least learn about and know about because he fought for something bigger than himself. And although he died in the process, he sparked a revolution. So shout out to him.
Yes, Nat Turner.
Birthdays.
Who you got?
Who we got?
Oh, just got a burst of energy.
You got energy, Romeo?
Kamala Hyde. Camila.
Camille.
Not Kamala. Not everybody named Kamala.
You like the way Camille look, because you.
No, I'm trying to recognize her face.
Yeah. She from
Corinne,
Glee?
who is she?
Let's see. She is from Power Rangers.
Oh, okay.
Power. That was what it was.
That makes sense for you.
Mm-hmm. Your faves. Childish.
Ren Brown, 74.
Brown.
She looks young as hell.
It's the curls for me.
Girl, yes.
Yes. She is a former politician who served as a member of the U.S. House of Representatives in Florida from 1993 to 2017. She looked good for 74.
Just saying, she looked young, y'all. She hit y'all in the head. Some of y'all 40-year-olds. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
I said it.
She looked like she's ready for church. Okay.
She looked like she just ready for the work. She looks young. Like at 70, she does not look like she's 74.
Yep. You know what they say, black don't crack.
She looks good. Trey Smith, 28. Yes. Wilson very handsome. And then Victor Cruz is 34. Victor Cruz plays what sport? Is it baseball?
He's a retired football player, not baseball. Football. Yeah. He was the Giants, who currently dates Karuchi Tran.
Yeah.
They're cute together. I love them.
He looked a little small for football.
He played corner. You can be a small corner.
Okay.
Yeah, he was definitely not a part of the defensive line.
He was a little compact.
Hey,
he was not defensive at all.
Portia, don't ever do that to a dude. Don't ever do it to a dude. Hey, you kind of small.
He's a little compact. I'm just saying. You understand the deltoids, you know, the arm, the wings in the back, and they be all big and bulked up. So I guess.
Oh my God.
Actually,
don't get me wrong. He looks fit, but he just
back in 2012, he won the Super Bowl. I didn't know that. I didn't know he had a ring.
Portia's gonna have me doing it all day. Yeah, you play what position? Man, you kind of small. Wow. Happy birthday to y'all, man. And
go ahead.
Happy birthday, Camille. She was in the second Power Rangers, which is the one that got the most views in the movie theater. And actually, she was the Yellow Ranger. Dope.
Happy birthday, y'all.
I'm sorry, I know
she was
Wake up, illusion. The cake is on the way. We got the music playing, cause it's your holiday. Woo! We invited family, and everybody came. I strike a pose for me like you in a picture frame. You got your finest clothes on, and $1 million smile. So we gon' celebrate you for a while. And don't forget we got the candles when you away. Don't forget we got the candles. Happy birthday, gonna celebrate you for a while. Candles, blowing you away. Wait. Candles. Happy birthday, happy girl. So you proud to make another year.
Throw your hands up and wave them in the air.
She always hit that note. And first of all, Ashley, she was the Yellow Ranger first. She did not become the Pink Ranger until she took on the mantle of it after the Pink Ranger passed away. You gotta read the comics.
I wouldn't challenge Romeo on that. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't challenge Romeo on none of that.
Wait, so the Pink Ranger passed away in real life or in Ranger World?
In Ranger World. Y'all don't read y'all comics?
No.
Oh my God. Let me tell you something, Ranger World. Let me tell you something. But Portia, this is a good thing. This is the reason that I got into comics or graphic novels. One of my professors was trying to encourage the students to read. And he said, find something you love and begin with that. and graphic novels was something that I gravitated to, which encouraged me to read more. So I tell everybody, hey, if it requires you to pick up a book, find something you love to do and just grow from that.
I love that. Yeah, that's very important. I love that. That's a good point. I think too often when it comes to teaching, people teach what they feel like needs to be taught versus just let somebody like what they like and build upon that. I love that.
I want role in liking what you like, though, y'all. We got to get people and our kids and our community exposed to different things. That's why some of them red states, they just don't know no better because they haven't been exposed to a lot. So
Romeo, as a I guess a Comic-Con kind of person, should I say? Is that a good term? How do you feel about the adaptation of your favorite graphic novels to movies? Like, are you like all for the Avengers, or when Marvel drops a movie, or when DC does something? Like, are you into that, or do you kind of critique it? Like, this is different from the book.
I critique it. I was mad about Harry Potter. No, I critique it because you have to look at it like this. As a kid or as a teenager, right? You find that passion, like it's weird to find a passion in reading. Like if I took Portia's son and I know that he loves music, and I filled him with not music books, but like Jay-Z's, Timberland's, like their books. To when you find that passion in what you read, you want the reality to be the same. So yeah, I am that person that be like, that didn't happen, that didn't do that. I'm the same person. So, but thank you, Ashley. Jumping into the social report, wherever you want to go, I'll go, because wherever Ashley at, she ain't gonna tell us because she's in a different place every week anyway with it.
Don't do that. Do not call her out like that.
She's well traveled.
Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick.
I'm just saying. So Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick is about to cause some problems, y'all. He's offering $1 million for voter fraud evidence. Basically, this man says, I quote, I'm willing to pay up to $1 million to incentivize and encourage and reward people to come forward and report voter fraud. He says the cash will come from his campaign fund. So basically, the senator, this got to be illegal. The senator of Texas is offering $1 million for somebody to come up and say, "Hey, I saw somebody cheat a vote. Let me tell you something. I don't live in Texas, but what day you need me to be there? What day?"
That's just ridiculous. What about people? What about, okay, so who burned up the ballot box? Isn't that voter fraud? Run that money. I need that $1 million so, because I want to report that the ballot box was burned up. That's evidence right there. That's voter fraud.
My thing is, if we were really participating in this voter fraud, whatever, wouldn't it be a case of the Senate would have been blue by now if we were really, because how come it's only voter fraud for the president but not voter fraud for the rest of the elected officials? A lot of Republicans won their seats, got their seats, and all of this, but it's only when the Democratic, when the presidency is the election rigged. Like, okay, so what we gonna do? Just vote for all of the senators and representatives all over again? We're gonna do all, because if we got to do this election again, we got to do the whole ballot, not just the president. So how can we only cheating for one person? That doesn't make sense.
I don't understand why they just won't concede. And like, if you're gonna be a sore loser, be a sore loser, but be a sore loser like out of the spotlight. Like, be a sore loser in your home. Like, don't take it to the world and try to just deflect on the fact that he lost. Y'all, leader lost. Let's move on.
If you go back to Portia's point about the people who are not knowledgeable and the people that are slow,
they don't have exposure. I ain't said it was.
Oh, okay, my fault. They don't have exposure. So you telling me somebody who volunteered to come here and work, that for $1 million, I just gotta say that I saw something and I'm volunteering in poverty. I'm volunteering, and I don't have the same. You know what? I might just have to make up something. I might just have to tell something. Like, that's what you're doing, brother. But yeah. I didn't know a lieutenant governor could do that. I got to be against the law.
It just doesn't make sense for me that the only person who got cheated out of everybody who ran for office was the president. He the only one. Isn't it like 200 people total that probably ran for something?
No, Sierra, you know, it's just him. It was him.
He's the only one that got that they messed up. Like what?
What? Next up, wherever Ashley go, I'll go with her this time because maybe. But let's talk about bow. As Tiara brought up earlier, Morris Brown College accreditation has been approved, and basically what they're saying right now, just so that everybody can be aware, the Atlanta HBCU intends to become the first to earn its accreditation back in 20 years after losing it. It was Morris Brown was revoked due to debt and financial management. Now, I will say I'm glad that it's back. I do remember. What do I remember? In school, I remember this reminiscence of students being cheated.
Cheated, like out of their money?
Out of their tuition money. And, you know,
like it was always problems with financial aid.
Yeah, the president or people in the higher part of the faculty were like, you know, taking the money, allegedly using the money allegedly. So my question is, so now do people get to, now that they have this back, like, does it actually become like a college again, or is it one of them?
No, the accreditation means that it's a part of the, I guess, the organization of accredited institutions. What I don't know is the students that went there, like while I was at Spelman, there was like maybe like 60 students, I think, total there. I don't know if whoever was supposed to graduate at that time, if their degree gets accredited. I don't know if that's something that happens going forward, or can they go back and accreditate those people as well, you know?
It was so you could actually go to school. It wasn't an online thing. Like there
were students at Morris Brown. Like they were definitely at the AUC. They was in the library. They was there, and we were like, why? Because I mean, I ain't about to pay for nothing that I can't take to somebody and say, here's my degree. But you know,
that Spelman kicked me in.
They kept the school open. I went to the accredited HBCU.
I love your facial expressions. I can see it now. Hey, dude, try to talk to you. Hey, how you doing? What school you go to? Spelman? What school you go to? Morris Brown? Morris Brown.
Nobody ever really shared that they went to Morris Brown. You just knew that there were students, but they were gonna look at you like Morehouse.
Morehouse? Brown. They open on Monday.
So shout out to Morris Brown though. I'm happy that they got their accreditation back. And I think a lot of it has to do with the resurgence of HBCU popularity. Like people want to see our schools open.
I'm happy that they got it back too. I just, it brings back a flood of memories in terms of being in that financial aid office. I did not attend Morris Brown. I attended Grambling State University, but I have vivid memories of being in that financial aid office. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Why do all y'all got the same face when y'all say financial aid? Was this like a thing?
So listen, so I was my brother into Tuskegee, and I had a newborn at the time, and I had to go back to Detroit to go to work, and the line was just long all day. And I said, listen, I had a newborn, I had a 2-year-old, and I said, listen, I need to talk to the man in that office. I'm not leaving this office today unless I talk to him.
Because they always want you to come back or call back or something back. And it's like, I'm not coming back.
I'm not leaving, ma'am. I'm not leaving. I need to talk to him. I'm not leaving until I talk to him because I got to go back to Detroit today.
They would expunge us with the quickest from our classes, like no remorse. And then the class gets full and you got to beg the professor to put you back in the class you have registered for, but because your financial aid just hasn't gone through. Sorry, replace.
I have a flashback. I'm sorry, Facebook. All three of the ladies, even Ashley, they having flashbacks. The pink slip.
Listen.
But that is the thing about the HBCU experience that you just remember, and it makes you go hard for what you believe in, and that's yourself and your education. So it was just a part of the experience. I can't say I didn't like it. It's just a part of the experience.
And trust and believe, when I left that office, my brother was enrolled in school, and I took I drove from Tuskegee, Alabama to the Atlanta airport, got on the airplane with 2 of my babies, and flew back to Detroit, went to work the next day.
I didn't pick up on Morris Brown until the movie, the Nick Cannon movie.
Drumline.
Drumline, that was A&T. You talking about Stumpy Art?
No, we're talking about Drumline. Because the band was from the neighboring school in the purple. Was the band Drumline?
It's a live band. We're gonna give you a pass. It's fine because we know what school you went to.
Next up.
Right.
we had a drum line too. Next up, we talked about this yesterday. I told everybody to calm down yesterday. Y'all not calming down. So on the far right in the orange, that's King Von. That's the young artist that got killed 2-3 days ago, right? Mm-hmm. In the middle, Saturday. In the middle is his artist, Quando Rondo. Now, on the other end is Lil Durk. And Durk is not happy that Von was killed and Quando Rondo, his crew member, is performing. So what Durk did was Durk bought out his Atlanta show, every ticket. And Quando Rondo said, you know what? I need to cancel this performance because something ain't right. So what Durk is doing to everybody in that Von crew, he's buying out their shows. If they got a club date, a performance date, he's buying out their shows. And a lot of people think it's a setup portion. A lot of people think that it's a setup. A lot of people think that it is a ploy to prove a point, like, oh, your main partner just passed away, but you're still gonna go do shows. You're still gonna perform. Bet, go do it. I'm gonna show you who's gonna be there. Me and my crew. This is getting out of hand, people. I'm telling y'all, this is getting further and further out of hand.
I think it's unfortunate too. Like I continue to say, like, I hate the fact that I know this. Like, this is like, why is this getting out to the public? Why is this happening? What is going on? I hate that I know this story.
So here's the thing. So, okay, because this is real ratchet, and I promise you it don't compute in my mind. So I need a little bit more clarity of what's going on. So he bought out the show, but in the buying out of the show, didn't the little boy get paid? Like, he got paid for that, right?
Yeah, but
that's he have to perform. He's paying him to not perform. So I guess I'm not getting the fact that he's still getting paid.
It's more so like a message, I think. Like,
I wouldn't give a damn. He got paid.
I don't know, question.
But if he gets paid in lieu of the fact that he has to show up, so if he shows up and Durk and his crew is there, it could be a bigger problem. So it's like he might as well just walk away from the whole thing. Say, y'all keep that, because if he has to show up, then it might be a bigger situation.
So here, this will help you out, Tiara. You're so right. We're gonna help you out even a little further. So he's bought out the show, and he knows who bought out the show. Now, if he don't show up to perform, Durk gonna get that money back. So technically, he's not really getting the money, but he's also saying, "Oh snap! I have a sold out show. Who sold it out? The enemy.
Okay.
Oh snap!
Okay. Okay, I get it. So even though he bought out the show, he get the money back if he doesn't show up to perform.
There you go.
Yeah.
And apparently,
Durk is just paying for a message. He don't really. I don't think he's thinking about the money like that.
And apparently, he's doing this for every person, that altercation that we saw, every rapper that was in that crew
involved.
involved in that altercation. He's doing that for every last single one of their shows. If they're performing after this man's death, they putting out hits on people.
I do think that it's very soon, because if somebody that I was that close to passed away, then it is really too soon within 3 or 4 days later to get back on stage. I mean, in a sense, it's like, I get it, you got a job, you got to feed your family and all those things. But I think based on the circumstances around this situation and feeling like somebody might have crossed somebody over, and there's alleged rumors that Quando Rondo had snatched King Von's chain after he got shot. So was it like, was y'all plotting on him? Was y'all trying to take his stuff and something went bad? It's just a sticky situation.
Very much so. And I'm not, please, I hope this gets better. I hope this gets
better. They need to really pour some water on that fire as soon as possible.
I think that's it. Or last but not least, unless Ashley had one more that I sent her earlier. Who do y'all think can mediate?
Drake.
Drake is going to have to.
Will Jay-Z listen to Jay-Z? They're not gonna listen to him?
Nah.
Why not? He like right?
It has to be somebody that they fear. It has to be like a 50 Cent. It has to be like a
who fears 50 Cent?
Everybody.
They just fear what? Him talking about him or what? Like,
yeah, they 50 Cent is still a fear.
I think Drake could simmer it down.
Nah, T.I. no.
Interesting that you say T.I. because I actually commented on a post that went viral, and people had liked a lot of the comment that I had made about T.I. saying that y'all need to keep this out of Atlanta, like stop bringing this hood ratchet-ish to Atlanta. People were like, Tip, now's not the time. We get what you're trying to say. Now's not the time. And then at the same time, a lot of people were like, T.I. is right. Y'all need to stop bringing this to Atlanta. But I mean, Atlanta has its people too. So we can't just say that it's only Chicago rappers doing this and doing that.
No.
How about y'all need to stop? No, don't stop bringing it to Atlanta. How about you just need to stop? Like
the reason that I agree with T.I. is because the simplicity the fact that it gets bigger. We just talked about this. You're involving Atlanta people now. It gets bigger. It gets bigger than you. And what Dirk is doing right now is becoming bigger than him. Because now you got to think about it. Well, I was going to go to the Quando Rondo concert, but it's sold out. And now he ain't going to perform because it gets big.
Concerts in COVID anyway. Sit down.
Atlanta.
Don't do that.
Anyway.
ATL.
That's so stupid.
And I hate, one of the things that I hate, one of the things I really do not like about the culture, I don't like it when people take it lightly and they'll come and they'll say, well, it's not important and it's not new, or we should be talking about something else. No, this is the culture right now. If you add up how many deaths of rap artists, male, Black, Atlanta, New York, and Chicago outweigh every other state. Atlanta, New York, Chicago rappers, death. LA, not even LA, because LA don't even beef like that. We beef.
Nipsey Hussle, that was a big deal.
No. That was one incident. Think about if you add up in a year.
Pop Smoke got killed in LA.
Huh?
Pop Smoke got killed in LA.
That's like 2. Added up the year.
I mean, I'm adding up.
Well, I'm just saying, Atlanta, Chicago, and New York have the most deaths of young Black men in the hip hop.
Everybody just needs to start singing R&B. Ain't no beefs between R&B groups. Ain't nobody.
Look, Chris Brown be acting like he's a goon.
Like, can we just all get along? Where my Rodney King folk at? Can we just all get along, y'all?
Yeah, what's that R&B song?
They don't beef. They not killing each other. They not out there. Like, let's just move to R&B. Like, save the world, please. Hey,
come on, Usher, great songs. the video. Oh, last but not least, man. So I saw this video. It was trending online, man. And it goes back to what Portia brought up earlier about voter fraud. And it's the funniest thing. And guess who played it? The people at Fox. Hit it, Portia. Hit it. Ashley, let them see this stupid stuff.
The 175-foot stretch where I was walking, the Biden van was parked along this stretch. And I was walking to it, so about 150 feet. I was walking and I could see these people hand over what appeared to be white envelopes, just hand over onto this table. And as I got closer, the envelope.
What happened?
So here's the fun thing. I wanted it to play out, but apparently this random, we just talked about that $1 million. This random person came on camera and said, I was in the parking lot. I saw a van pull up and they were handing out Biden and Harris tickets and people were signing them and they was putting them in the box and taking it in the building. I walked right past the truck.
Okay.
Ma'am, I'm pretty sure somebody's stealing an election. They're not doing it in a parking lot. Let's start with that.
Yeah, people have to realize that we would be a little bit more sophisticated like that. Like the last election, there was rumors of Russia interference. Like, you think we about to just be in Vegas and somebody's right outside of Caesars like, hey, we're stealing the election?
Yeah, no. That's a no. So they basically, are they staking a claim to that $1 million, Romeo?
They're staking a claim to that $1 million.
I saw it too, y'all. I was there in wherever she said she was at. I saw it too. I need my share of $1 million too.
Oh, and the fact that, I can't say nothing bad, but the fact that Fox News actually put this on TV, it is hilarious.
And distorted her voice. And they was like, yeah, this sounds reasonable. This sounds
good. Yeah.
Like, it's true.
Again, my thing is, how did we only rig the election for one person?
You was in the parking lot? Yeah. Like, he was in it.
What color were the envelopes? They were white. But the election envelope not even white. So they outside, but the sequencing envelopes are yellow. For Michigan anyway.
Oh man, Portia, let's go get this $1 million, Portia. I saw you see it. I
saw it too.
Oh man, but that is the social report for Wednesday, November 11th.
Romeo, is Facebook checking in?
Facebook is checking in. Ellen Adams says, "What's up?" Monica White, Ray Carter, Sarah Payton. Oh man, my fault. Catherine Collins says, "Glad they are accredited." We're about to see how gangster the U.S. is because he is going. Y'all better watch Trump. I'm not playing with y'all. And Tammy Berry says, "My sister is dropping gems." She was speaking about the young lady from earlier, man. So this is great, man.
Dr. Trump, yes, we definitely have to have Dr. Trump at Peace and Purpose. Again, if we can roll the Peace and Purpose video spot, it's December 4th through the 6th, at the end of the year, intentionally to help people just prepare themselves for the new year, relax, relate, recharge, rejuvenate, all of that good stuff. We got some financial situation seminars going on. We have some yoga seminars going on. We got some a whole bunch of stuff going on. So here it is again. This is Munson Steve special.
I'll be there.
He's bringing me peace, purpose along my way. He's bringing me peace, purpose every day. I don't know where I would be without all he's given me. I'm so thankful for peace, purpose.
So December 4th through the 6th, you can register at www.peaceandpurpose.co. That's .co. And you can see what thus far. Oh, you still got sage going on, girl.
Got it. Bringing the sage. Where my crystals at? We are bringing our crystals. We will be there.
Yes, Entergy.
Peace and purpose.
Yeah.
And journal too, guys. I've been journaling a lot too lately.
Yeah, journaling is very cathartic. So good for you, girl. Yeah. And then, you know, as you get older and you find your old journals and you go back and read them to see where you were at during that time. I mean, it's cathartic. It's amazing. I love doing that stuff.
Don't do that. I told Portia what to do because Portia ain't did it yet. Because I don't see it, and I do it every day. I told you to start video vlogging. I told you.
So okay, so my class was canceled on Sunday, Romeo, but I am gonna do that. So if y'all don't know, I took a CPL class, concealed pistol license class. It was virtual, but they had a second component to it where you had to go to the gun range, and that component, the second component, was canceled and it needs to be rescheduled. It hasn't been rescheduled yet, but I will be vlogging that experience because it will be the first time that I held a gun to point and shoot in my life. We had some gun advocates on the show before, and I was just letting them know that as a single mom, I was not comfortable with having a gun in my house. I have 2 boys and I just didn't want anything to happen on my watch. So I just never had it in my house. But now is the time where I feel as if I need one. So I will be vlogging that experience, Romeo, as soon as they reschedule the class.
Okay.
Just saying. Right. And I'm going to go get me a little purple gun because purple is my favorite color.
Hey, that's regal.
First of all, don't encourage her. It ain't supposed to be cute. I don't know why. You got a nice little pink revolver. Guns ain't supposed to be cute.
Purple. Little purple Glock.
No. Hey, if any dudes get shot by a purple Glock, I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna laugh.
Positive thoughts.
Positive thoughts. Hey, Munson Steve, welcome back.
What's up, everybody? I've been listening and giving away, pass it forward, and all those beautiful things, and peace and purpose, which happens on December 4th, 5th, and 6th. So we're looking for all that transformation that's going to happen.
I had to tell everybody again that you wrote, produced that song. I love it, love it, love it. It just puts you in a zenful mood. You know, once the music comes on, give me peace.
Every day, every day, every day.
I would do. Finishing my time.
So
it's bringing me peace.
I think we need to go to positive thoughts portion. We're gonna sing all day.
Positive thoughts.
Miss Berry has a very positive thought today.
I do have a very positive thought today. My positive thought goes back to earlier when we were hearing the discussion just about mental health and energy and frequency and being on the right vibe and the right frequency is so important. When you get in the car and you turn on the radio, you got to go to a certain station to get hip hop. You got to go to a certain station to get your pop. You got to go to a certain station to get your country music. So if you wonder why your life, your vibrations isn't the way it should be, is because sometimes you just have to change your frequency, change the level that you're vibrating on, enhance the people around you, get involved in conversations that are going to help you, get mentors, feed your mind, feed your body, feed your spirit good things, and change your vibration, and you change your life. That's my positive thought, and I'm passing the ball to Miss Portia.
Positive thoughts of the day. So mine is actually going back to Dr. Trim, who was amazing, by the way. She definitely dropped some inspirational jewels on us this morning, but she also ignited a spark in me that I used to say all of the time back in the day, right? So if it is to be, it's up to me. That was her words today, but I had a second part of it when I used to say it back in the day. If it is to be, it's up to me. The first key to succeeding in life is starting with me. So I just want to encourage everyone to go out there and be your best selves. Show up, represent. If it is to be, it's up to me. Y'all remember that. Look in the mirror and say that. If it is to be, it's up to me. The first key to succeeding in life starts with loving me. It starts with loving me. My coffee just kicked in, y'all.
I love that.
Pass the ball at any moment.
Pass the ball over to Romeo.
I'm going to share my positive thoughts with Miss Tammy Berry, as she quoted, "Don't give gifts to make people happy, make yourself happy in giving." So I'm going to do some giving today so that I can make myself happy, and I'm going to share that with you as I pass it on to Munson Steve.
Hey, everybody. Thanks, Romeo. It has been a great morning. There's definitely transformation amidst. It is important to set goals, to have a vision for yourself. That is important. Get help. I think many of us are alone. If you're going to look for a house, we hope that you call Miss Mary and know that, you've got somebody who can walk you through the process. If you're going to get somebody to help you DJ a set or create a vibe, we want you to look out for Romeo International. But getting help from those individuals can help you build your wealth, help you understand, and then figuring out the coachability factor, how to really work with a therapist, how to really work with a coach, really preparing yourself. Are you prepared to get a mentor? At Peace and Purpose, we're bringing this all to you. It's like $19.99 just to participate. 40 speakers. It is really about a gift. We're going to talk about some industries that you should think about, whether it's cannabis, whether it's being in the finance business. So we don't want you to be alone preparing and having subject matter experts in your life. Of course, we would get a phone call at this moment. That's somebody calling in and hoping to tune in right now to Peace and Purpose. Whatever you do, keep some peace and purpose in your life. But you know what? This is the moment to start writing down those goals for 2021.
Get your vision board.
All of the noise. Write down, readjust, write down some of those goals in pencils. Write down your movement goals. It is important to check your weight, check your blood pressure, go in and get your doctor visit if you haven't had one. Clearly run past the dentist so your bill won't be so high when you get there. And understand it is time for self-care as we prepare. There is a change in season if you hadn't noticed. It is time to change your season for 2021. Join us at Peace and Purpose. I'm Munson Steve. We love you. It's Portia Monique, Tara Berry, and Romeo International. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace. Rolling out 8 a.m. Wake up call.
See y'all tomorrow. It is to be. It's up to me. The first key to succeeding in life starts with loving me.